So this idea of Leo is also really fascinating because this was the inspiration for a theory called servant leadership. Okay? And the idea of servant leadership came about a man by the name of Robert Greenleaf, and he said, we need a different kind of leadership in this country. We need people who want to be servants first and leaders second. Okay? So think about, the old stereotype of a manager, from the 50s, 60s. He walks into the office and he says, so-and-so, get me coffee. Right? And you jump up and you get him coffee because you don't have a job. Okay? That's not servant leadership, is it? But now we have an idea of, as a servant leader, my people have been working really hard. And I need to keep their spirits up. And I'm going to be the one who gets the pack animals ready. And I'm going to be the one who gets breakfast. Maybe I'm bringing in coffee that morning. I'm going to stop off at the coffee shop and get everybody their frou-frou coffee on the way. And I'm going to keep them happy. I'm going to serve them and keep them moving because they need that motivation. They need that support. And that's the role of a servant leader. You turn everything upside down. Your job isn't for people to serve you and make you look good and help you get your job done. Your job as a servant leader is to go to the people and to make sure they have what they need to do their jobs and to protect them, okay? Because if you've ever been in middle management, you know that you need to protect the people under you from the people above you. That's largely your job oftentimes. Because the people below you, they can't do their job if they have that constant turmoil. And they're constantly being, attacked or this or that or the other thing. Your job, again, is to turn it upside down. You are serving the people that you lead. Okay, back to community again. So, in our culture, we have this obsession with leadership. And we have courses on leadership. And we have seminars on leadership and books, and it's a multi-million-dollar industry. Everybody talking and teaching about leadership. The problem is, if we think about how a system works, leadership is one tiny little piece. Okay? It's one piece of the whole, and it's not even necessarily the most important piece. A servant leader recognizes that followers are every bit as important, if not more important, than I am as the leader. Because without followers, what happens to me as the leader? What if I'm the leader and all my employees quit on me, or my entire club walks out on me, or an entire church walks out on you, or whatever it might be? Guess what? I'm not a leader anymore because nobody's following me. Okay? You're only a leader as long as you have followers, and it's your job as that servant leader to take care of your followers and to be a part of that community and make sure that everybody is supporting everybody else. So we need to within community and within this idea of civic engagement, we need to cultivate and value followership. That is something we do not do in our culture. We need to recognize how important those people are, because without the followers, we have no community, and you are no longer a leader. So what do we do? Well, we've got this example of Leo. But there's a problem with Leo in this story. And the problem is what? At some point, he's doing all the work. He's doing all the work. He's doing all the work. And nobody else steps up. And so as that leader, you also have to take the next step. I've got the point. I've got to tell them the story. Why is it important? They have to understand it from another perspective. But I also have to show them the example. And Leo shows them that example day after day after day. This is what it means to be a servant leader. And it still didn't work because he needed to go one step further yet. And that is he needed to invite them into the process. Okay? So he needs to say, so-and-so, how about this morning you make breakfast? And so-and-so, how about you pack the animals today? I'll show you how. And I'll teach you to talk to these animals in a way that they understand. Okay? And so you're drawing people into the process, not just heading forward, doing all the work yourself, which is so tempting as a leader. I can do it. I can probably do it better than other people who haven't done it before. I'm just going to head forward, and I'm going to plow forward, and I'm going to do everything. Well, the problem is you're going to burn yourself out. And someday your followers are just going to wander away because they're not a part of the community. They really aren't. If they're not contributing something to that community, it's not a system anymore. And that civic engagement, that community dies. Okay? So, you have the point. You have the story. Right? And I just want you to consider and to think about what is more effective for me if I sat here and I just told you a lecture of here's what servant leadership is, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you're probably going to forget it tomorrow. And it won't have any impact in your life because it doesn't mean anything to you, right? The rat's tail I first heard 20 years ago. And it has stuck with me for 20 years. I still remember it. I still think about it often. Because that story has meaning to me. It has context. It has life. And it got me emotionally engaged in it. Where if you told me just the fact that, we're losing the ability to tell stories, I'd be like, yeah, I agree. See you later. That's not going to do it. Storytelling is critical to civic engagement. It gets all of us together in a room. And it gets us listening, and it gets us talking, and it gets us interacting and being that whole, that community that we need in order to move forward. I thank you for listening to me tonight. Probably been a few years since you've listened to an hour lecture, but you were very patient, and I appreciate your attention. And I'd be happy to take questions, or if you want to stay and chat, I'll stick around as well. Thank you.